My name is Molly Heigenbotham, 16 years old. My father slapped me across the face and forced me to sign a confession for something I didn't do. My mother packed my belongings into cardboard boxes, photographed them, and posted the images to 230 people online with a caption calling me destructive and jealous. They changed the locks on our house while I stood outside in 52-degree rain. My father's last words were, "Don't come back until you learn respect." I had $20, one backpack, and nowhere to sleep. They believed my brother's lie without asking me a single question. What they didn't know was that I'd already secured the one thing that would matter 13 years later. I walked into that storm empty-handed, but I wasn't defenseless. And the foundation they thought they'd destroyed became the one I'd build everything on, including the truth that would eventually bury them. Let me show you exactly how that happened. I'm at my desk on the 14th floor when Beth leans into my cubicle. The Austin skyline glitters behind her through floor-to-ceiling windows, glass towers, morning sun, the kind of view I once thought I'd never earn. "Molly, nice work on the Next Tech audit flag," she says, setting a file on my keyboard. "IRS just escalated it to criminal investigation. Your pattern recognition was spot on. Fake contractor deductions, stock basis manipulation, textbook fraud." I nod. Professional. "Thank you. The red flags were pretty clear once I cross-referenced their 1099 filings with actual project deliverables." Beth smiles. "This is why we hired you. You don't miss anything." She leaves. I open the file. Case number IRS-2023-TX-4891. Client, Austin FinTech Partners, LLC. My notes, highlighted in yellow, fill the margins. 83 questionable transactions. I'd spent 4 weeks building this case, cross-checking every invoice, every wire transfer. I'm good at this. Finding lies hidden in numbers. Making the invisible visible. I close the file. My hand brushes the nameplate on my desk. Molly Heigenbotham, CPA. Nextech, that name sounds familiar. The drive home takes 23 minutes. Traffic on Mopac is light for a Wednesday evening. I pull into the parking garage of my building, a mid-rise condo complex in West Campus. One bedroom, 680 square feet, purchased 3 years ago for $385,000. I put down 20%, $77,000 I'd saved over 6 years of working. The mortgage is $1,847 a month. I've never been late. Not once. Inside, I drop my keys in the ceramic bowl by the door, a gift from Janet Kowalski on my college graduation day. The apartment is clean, minimal. A couch I bought on sale at IKEA, a dining table that seats 2. Framed diplomas on the wall. Austin Community College, University of Texas, my CPA license. This is mine, every square foot. No one gave it to me. No one can take it away. I heat up leftover pasta, penne with marinara I made Sunday. Meal prep is a habit I picked up in my early 20s, when every dollar mattered. It still matters, but differently now. I have $96,300 in annual salary, $78,000 in my 401k, $38,000 in my emergency fund, 0 debt. I paid off my student loans, $38,600 total, in November of 2023. I eat at the table, not the couch. Another habit. Structure over comfort. My phone buzzes. Unknown Austin number. I let it go to voicemail. I finish eating, wash the dish, and sit down with my laptop. Curiosity wins. I Google Next Tech Solutions, LLC Austin. The company website loads. Corporate tech startup. Series B funding. Leadership team photos. And there, fourth from the left, Vanessa Heigenbotham, VP of Finance. My mother. I haven't seen her face in 13 years. The photo is professional, hairstyled, navy blazer, the same expression she wore at charity galas, confident, untouchable. I scroll further, find a LinkedIn post from 2019. Her profile, public, a long post about tax optimization strategies with the hashtag SmartBusiness. She's offering to share tactics via DM. I screenshot it. Save it as mom_LinkedIn_2019.png in a folder on my desktop labeled Archive. The pattern I flagged in the fintech audit, the fake contractor deductions, the stock basis games, it's identical to what she's describing. The same playbook. I close the laptop. I put my own mother on the IRS radar. The voicemail notification blinks. I press play. Molly, it's Ethan. I freeze. I know you don't want to hear from me, but it's an emergency. Mom and Dad, they're in trouble. Please. I'm at the Starbucks on Guadalupe. I'll wait until closing. Please. His voice cracks on the word trouble. I haven't heard my brother's voice in 6 years. The last time was a drunk call at 2 in the morning, March 14th, 2019. He cried. He confessed. He said he couldn't tell our parents the truth. I recorded that call. Texas is a one-party consent state. I didn't need his permission. I grabbed my keys. Now let me take you back to where this started. November 12th, 2012. I was 16. Ethan was 21. And everything I thought I knew about family ended in 4 hours. It started at 4:47 p.m. I was in the kitchen doing homework when I heard the crash. Not a small sound, something massive, wood splintering, a sound that shouldn't exist in a house like ours. It came from upstairs, from Ethan's practice studio. I ran. The studio was soundproofed, foam panels on the walls, thick carpet, a space designed for 6 hours of daily practice. The door was ajar. I pushed it open. Ethan was on the floor, surrounded by pieces of his cello, not cracked, destroyed. The neck snapped clean at the joint. The body split down the center, splinters everywhere. He was holding a piece of it in his hands, shaking. Ethan? Oh my God, what happened? He looked up at me. His face was wet. He'd been crying. But when our eyes met, something shifted. The panic drained out of his expression. Something colder replaced it. This is your fault now, he said. Quiet, calm. I didn't understand. What? I just got here. What are you? When they ask, you were angry I got into Curtis and you didn't. You pushed me. The cello fell. Got it? What? No, Ethan, I'm not going to. He stood up. You will. Or I'll tell them you've been jealous for months. Who do you think they'll believe? I heard the garage door opening downstairs. Mom and Dad were home. They'd been at a charity gala, black tie event downtown. Dad still wore his tuxedo when he came upstairs. Mom's red silk evening gown rustled as she walked. They smelled like champagne and expensive cologne. Ethan was already crying when they reached the studio door. I tried to stop her, Dad, he said, voice breaking perfectly. She was so angry. She said I didn't deserve Curtis. She pushed me into the stand and, where is she? Dad's voice was thunder. I never heard him that loud. I stepped forward. That's not true. He's lying. I saw him break it himself. Mom cut me off. Enough. We know jealousy when we see it. I'm not jealous. I didn't touch. Dad grabbed my arm. Hard. You're going to fix this. He dragged me downstairs to his home office, the one with the mahogany desk and the wall of legal books. He sat down at his computer and started typing. What are you doing? He didn't answer. The printer whirred. He pulled out a sheet of paper on his law firm's letterhead. Botham and Associates across the top. He slid it across the desk. Sign this. I read it. Acknowledgement of responsibility. It said I accepted full responsibility for destroying property valued over $25,000. It had blank lines for my signature and the date. This isn't real. You can't. I'm an attorney. Try me. He opened a drawer, pulled out a Mont Blanc pen. Sign it, or I call the police and report you for felony criminal mischief. Destruction of property over 25,000 is a felony in Texas. You'll have a record. No college will touch you. My hand shook as I took the pen. I signed it. The signature was barely legible. He took the paper, folded it, and smiled. Good girl. Mom was upstairs in my room. I heard drawers opening, things being thrown. When I got there, she'd already packed 6 cardboard boxes with my clothes, books, laptop, everything. She was on her phone, taking pictures. Mom, what are you doing? She didn't look at me, just kept photographing. The boxes. The broken cello pieces Ethan had brought down for evidence. Me, standing in the doorway. Then she opened Facebook, started typing. I watched over her shoulder. Private group, 230 members, friends, family, church congregation, dad's colleagues. Her caption: Our daughter destroyed her brother's $28,500 cello in a fit of jealousy. We will not enable this behavior. Sometimes love means tough consequences. Pray for our family. She posted it. Within minutes, the comments started rolling in. She read them aloud, like she wanted me to hear. Linda says, "You're doing the right thing, Vanessa. Tough love is still love." Karen says, "I can't believe she'd do that to her own brother." Oh, here's Pastor Mike, praying for your family's healing. 47 comments in the first hour. Not one person asked for my side. At 10 p.m., a locksmith arrived. Dad had called him, paid $340 cash for an emergency visit. I watched through the window as the man installed a new deadbolt. Schlager BE 365. I remember the model number because I stared at the box for 20 minutes while he worked. Mom carried my boxes outside, left them on the driveway. Dad stood at the door. I was on the porch, backpack over my shoulder. "Don't come back until you learn respect," he said. "You're 16, old enough to understand consequences. If you can destroy your brother's future, you can figure out your own." The door shut. I heard the new lock click. I stood there for 38 seconds, waiting for it to open again. It didn't. The temperature was 52 degrees. Rain started at 10:47, light at first, then heavier. I pulled my jacket hood up. The backpack straps dug into my shoulders. I had $20 in my wallet, one $20 bill. Everything I owned was in 6 boxes on the driveway, getting wet. I started walking. 2.3 miles to Zilker Park. It took me 43 minutes in the rain. There was a picnic pavilion near Barton Springs. Metal roof, wooden benches. I sat down, soaking wet, and opened my backpack. I had 2 granola bars. Nature Valley, 380 calories total. I ate them both. Then I sat there in the dark, listening to rain hammer the metal roof, and waited for morning. I didn't cry, I couldn't afford to. Don't think about the house. Don't think about your bed. Think about tomorrow. Just tomorrow. That's what I told myself all night. A man walked past the pavilion at 1:30 a.m. I held my breath until he was gone. Thunder rolled in around 2. The rain got worse. I pulled my knees to my chest and made myself as small as possible. At 6:20 a.m., the rain stopped. I walked to Austin Public Library, Central Branch, 710 West Cesar Chavez. They opened at 10. I sat on the steps outside until the doors unlocked. Inside, I found computer station number 12. Plugged in my phone, 18% battery left. The charger was the one thing I'd grabbed that still worked. I borrowed it from the front desk. I Googled Homeless Youth Shelter, Austin, Texas. First result, lifeworks.org. I read everything: transitional living program, shared apartments, help with GED, job placement, counseling, free. I bookmarked the page. My phone buzzed. Text from Mom. "Your phone service ends tonight. Goodbye." 18 hours later, my phone went dark. On the afternoon of day 2, a woman approached me at the library. I was still at computer station 12. I'd been there since opening, pretending to study. Really just existing in a warm building. "Hi, I'm Janet," she said. She had a LifeWorks badge clipped to her jacket. Photo ID number 0847. I work with young people in tough situations. Can I buy you lunch? No strings, just food. I looked up at her. Why? Because I've been doing this job for 22 years, and I know what day 3 of homelessness looks like. We went to Chipotle. She bought me a burrito bowl, chicken, extra rice, the first real meal I'd had in 48 hours. I ate slowly, tried not to look desperate. You don't have to tell me what happened, Janet said, but I'm guessing it was fast. It always is. I nodded. LifeWorks has a bed for you tonight, she said. If you want it, shared apartment with 3 other girls, house rules, chores, curfew at 10 p.m., but it's safe, and it's warm, and no one will kick you out for something that isn't your fault. I started crying, right there in Chipotle. Couldn't stop. Janet handed me napkins. Didn't say anything, just waited. When I could breathe again, I said, "Okay." She slid a business card across the table. "We'll get you through this." The apartment was at 512 West 29th Street. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. I got a bunk bed, top bunk. A donated towel still had the Goodwill tag on it. 12 inches of shelf space for my things. My roommates were Sierra, 17, Bianca, 16, Dev, 18. All of them had stories. None of them asked mine. Sierra sat on the edge of my bunk that first night. "First night?" she asked. I nodded. "Yeah, I cried too. You're safe here. Janet doesn't BS you. If she says you got a shot, you got a shot." I lay awake until 4 a.m., listening to 3 strangers breathe. This is my family now. Janet introduced me to Leon Hayes 2 weeks later. He was 62, a retired high school math teacher who volunteered at LifeWorks teaching GED prep. "You're good with numbers," he told me after the first class. "Ever thought about accounting?" I shook my head. "It's honest work," he said, "and honest work builds honest lives." I passed my GED exam 6 months later. Score? 175 out of 200, high enough for college scholarships. Leon handed me the certificate in his beat-up Honda Civic. We sat in the LifeWorks parking lot. "Now what?" I asked. "Now you apply to Austin Community College, and you work. You'll need both." I applied to 14 jobs before Starbucks hired me. Barista. $9.50 an hour, 25 hours a week. My first paycheck was $286.40 after taxes. I deposited it at Wells Fargo, opened a savings account with $50. The second paycheck, $312, deposited. Third, $301, deposited. I was building something they couldn't take. Austin Community College accepted me with a merit scholarship, $3,200 a year. I declared accounting as my major, took 5 classes a semester while working at Starbucks, made Dean's List twice. In my second year, I started doing bookkeeping for small businesses, $15 an hour. My first client was Garcia Family Bakery on East 6th. They paid me in cash and tres leches cake. I saved everything. When I applied to transfer to UT Austin, I had a 3.91 GPA and 42 credits. The acceptance email came on a Tuesday. "Congratulations, Ms. Higginbotham. You have been admitted to the McCombs School of Business for fall 2014. I walked onto campus that August, 2 miles from my parents' house. They had no idea I was there. UT was different, bigger, wealthier. I saw students driving cars that cost more than my entire 2 years of tuition. I wore the same 4 outfits on rotation. Ate ramen, studied in the library until it closed. I worked part-time at Henderson and Price LLP Junior Bookkeeping, $18 an hour. I filed documents, reconciled accounts, learned how real accounting worked. My professors noticed. One of them, Dr. Whitman, pulled me aside after class. "You should sit for the CPA exam," he said. "You have the precision for it." "I need 150 credit hours," I said. "I'll only have 120 when I graduate." "Take online courses. Night classes, you can do it. So I did. I graduated from UT in May 2018 with a 3.78 GPA, bachelor's in accounting. I'd completed the extra 30 credits through online courses at Austin Community College, paid for them with money I'd saved from Henderson and Price. Total student loans, $38,600. I took the CPA exam 4 months later. 4 sections: auditing, business environment, financial accounting, regulation. I passed all 4 on the first attempt. A UD, 89. BEC, 84. FAR, 81. REG, 87. The pass rate for all 4 sections on the first try is around 6%. When I opened the results email, I sat at my kitchen table and stared at the screen for 11 minutes. Molly Higginbotham, CPA. They tried to erase me. I became undeniable. Deloitte called 3 weeks later. We'd like to interview you for senior auditor in our Forensic and Dispute Services division. I wore a suit I'd bought at a thrift store, pressed and clean. $22. The interview was 4 hours. Case studies, technical questions, behavioral scenarios. They offered me the job the next day. Starting salary, $72,000 a year. I accepted. 5 years later, now, I make $96,300 annually. I bought my condo at 27, paid off my student loans at 28. Last payment? November 3rd, 2023. Total paid, $38,600. I framed my CPA license, hung it in my bedroom. Every morning, I see it before anything else. I wasn't lucky. I was relentless. But here's what they didn't know, what they've never known. I wasn't just surviving, I was gathering evidence. It started the morning after they kicked me out. November 13th, 2012, 7:30 a.m. I was at the library, computer station 12, phone at 16% battery. I knew Ethan's passwords. He used the same one for everything. Curtis Institute, 2024. I'd figured it out 3 weeks earlier, watching him type on his laptop. I was curious, nosy maybe. I'd logged into his Dropcam account once or twice, watched him practice, saw how hard he pushed himself. That curiosity saved my life. Dropcam, the security camera Ethan had installed in his practice studio 6 months before the incident. He used it to review his sessions, analyze his bow technique, check his posture. It uploaded everything to cloud storage. 7-day free retention. But Ethan paid $9.95 a month for 30 days. I logged in from the library, found the file. Studio _ camera _ 2012-11-12 _1647.mp4. 720 pixels. 427 megabytes. 14 minutes, 11 seconds. I downloaded it to a USB drive I'd bought at Walgreens with $3 of my 20. 8 gigabytes, $12.99. Then I uploaded it to my backup Gmail account, the one I'd made in middle school, mollyheigenbotham.backup@gmail.com. I watched it once before saving it. Timestamp 4:47:18 p.m. Ethan opens an email on his laptop. His face crumbles. 4:49:03 p.m. He stands up, starts pacing, then screaming, "I can't do this anymore. I can't be perfect." 4:51:21 p.m. He lifts the cello, smashes it into the floor. Once, twice, 3 times. The sound, crack, crack, crack. 4:52:24 p.m. He collapses, sits on the floor holding his head, crying. 4:53:27 p.m. I open the door. "Ethan? Oh my God, what happened?" 4:53:45 p.m. He looks at me. The calculation happens in real time. Panic becomes cold strategy. "This is your fault now." I saved 3 copies. USB, Google Drive, cloud backup. Ethan deleted the footage from his account at 11:23 p.m. that night. Told our parents the camera system crashed. Too late. I already had it. I didn't know what I'd do with it. Not then. I just knew I needed insurance. Proof that I existed. Proof that the story they were telling was a lie. I wasn't gathering evidence for revenge. I was building insurance against erasure. Years passed. I moved through GED, community college, UT, the CPA exam. I kept the video. Never watched it again. Just knew it was there. Then, in March 2021, I got a LinkedIn message. 2:43 a.m. from someone named Owen Castillo. Molly, you don't know me, but I was Ethan's roommate at Curtis. I've kept something for 9 years that you deserve to see. I'm sorry I didn't speak up sooner. I was a coward. Owen Castillo. He attached 14 screenshots. I downloaded them. iPhone 4S interface, iOS 6. Old. Text messages between Ethan and Owen. Dated November 19th, 2012. 1 week after I was kicked out. Ethan. I can't believe I let Molly take the fall, but if I tell the truth now, I lose everything. Curtis, the symphony gig, Mom and Dad's respect. I'm trapped in my own lie. Owen. Dude, that's so messed up. She's your sister. Ethan. You don't understand the pressure. If I fail, I'm nothing to them. I read the thread 3 times. Then I saved it in a folder labeled Receipts and replied to Owen. Thank you. He wrote back immediately. I should have sent this years ago. I'm sorry. I didn't respond. Sorry is a word. Screenshots are evidence. Owen sent more over the next few weeks. Email threads Ethan had forwarded to him in 2012 and 2013. Complaints about Curtis. Rants about impossible standards. One email stood out. Curtis Registrar to Ethan, February 15, 2013. Dear Mr. Higginbotham, your merit scholarship has been revoked effective spring 2013. Reason: failed drug screening, THC positive, January 28, 2013. Missed jury performance deadline, disciplinary probation status. Appeal deadline, March 1, 2013. Ethan's reply to Owen the next day. I lost everything. I should have told the truth about the cello from the start. Now I've lost everything, and Molly hates me. Ethan dropped out of Curtis in March 2013. 3 months after I lost my home. He lost his scholarship anyway, but no one threw him out. March 14, 2019. 2:17 a.m. My phone rang. Unknown number, Austin area code. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Molly? Ethan's voice. Drunk, slurred. I didn't say anything. Just opened the Tape-A-Call app. Hit record. Texas is a one-party consent state. I didn't need his permission. Molly, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I lied. I broke the cello. I let you take the fall because I was scared. I'm a coward. I ruined your life. Silence. I waited. Why are you calling me now? I'm in therapy. My therapist says I need to make amends, but I can't tell Mom and Dad. They'll never forgive me. I just needed you to know. I'm sorry. You're sorry, but you won't tell the truth. 47 seconds of silence. I can't. Click. I saved the file. Ethan_confession_03-14-2019.m4a. 8 minutes, 34 seconds. Backed it up 3 places. I listened to it once a year. On November 12th, to remember what truth sounds like. In 2020, I hired a private investigator. Cost me $1,800. I gave him one task: find the luthier who serviced Ethan's cello before it broke. It took him 3 weeks. Giovanni's String Instruments, 1401 South Lamar Boulevard. The shop owner was Giovanni Moretti, 68 years old, Italian accent. He remembered. That boy, he said, shaking his head. Shaking hands when he brought it in. October 23rd, 2012. Said he'd hit the wall with the cello during practice. Crack in the lower bout. I repaired it. $1,850. But I warned him. I told him, this instrument cannot take another hit like this. The structural integrity is compromised. He pulled the receipt from his files. Still had it. Service, repair crack in lower bout, impact damage. Cost, $1,850. Handwritten note at the bottom. Warn, structural integrity compromised. 3 weeks later, Giovanni said, I heard it got destroyed completely. I always wondered what happened. I asked if he'd testify if needed. He nodded. For the truth? Always. 4 receipts. 4 layers of proof. The drop cam footage. 14 minutes showing Ethan alone, breaking the cello, blaming me. Owen's texts. Ethan admitting the lie 1 week later. The recorded call. Ethan confessing 7 years later, but refusing to tell our parents. The repair receipt. Proof Ethan had already damaged the cello weeks before, contradicting his story of my sudden attack. And one more thing Owen sent in 2020. The Curtis email trail showing Ethan lost his scholarship for drugs and missed deadlines in February 2013, not because of the broken cello, but because he was falling apart. I had everything. I just didn't know when I'd need it. 13 years. That's how long I didn't contact them. 2 voicemails from Ethan. 2015. 2017. I never listened past 10 seconds. Delete, both times. The third call, in 2019, I answered. Recorded it, saved it, never replied. I check their Facebook profiles once a year. November 12th, a ritual. Mom's posts were always the same. Photos of her and Dad and Ethan, Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas mornings, captions about gratitude and family and second chances. #blessed. Thanksgiving 2018, photo of the 3 of them at the table. 83 likes, 12 comments saying, beautiful family. 0 mentions of a daughter. Dad's LinkedIn showed promotions. Senior partner at his firm in 2020. New headshot, same smug expression. Mom's company, Next Tech Solutions, made her VP of Finance in 2017. She posted about it, celebrated with champagne. Ethan's online presence was sparse. LinkedIn. Freelance music instructor, Austin, Texas. Self-employed, 2014 to present. His Yelp page had 3.2 stars. Reviews complained about cancellations and lack of professionalism. He never became the prodigy they sacrificed me for, but they still chose him. I went to therapy starting in 2019. Dr. Kavitha Patel. Weekly sessions. 45 minutes. $120 per session, covered by my Deloitte insurance. You don't owe them forgiveness, Molly, Dr. Patel said in one session. But do you owe yourself closure? Closure is what I built, I said. This condo, this career, this life they said I'd never have, that's my closure. She leaned forward. What would you do if they needed you? I didn't have an answer, not yet. Spring 2023. I was assigned to audit a tech startup, Austin FinTech Partners, LLC. Routine compliance check. 4 weeks into the audit, I started seeing patterns. Fake contractor deductions, services billed but never rendered. Stock basis manipulation, reporting lower purchase prices to inflate capital gains deductions. I flagged 83 transactions, built a case file, documented everything. My senior manager, Beth Kowalczyk, called me into her office. Molly, this is excellent work. This isn't just sloppy bookkeeping. This is fraud. I'm escalating to IRS Criminal Investigation Division. I nodded. Professional. The red flags were clear once I cross-referenced the 1099s with actual deliverables. She filed the report on April 12, 2023. The IRS opened a case 2 weeks later, June 15, 2023. I was at home, scrolling through old files. I don't know why. Maybe instinct. I found the screenshot I'd saved. Mom underscore LinkedIn underscore 2019.png. Her post from 2019, the one about tax optimization strategies. She'd written 3 paragraphs explaining how executives could maximize deductions through creative contractor arrangements and basis adjustments. 378 likes. 42 comments from other executives asking for details. I read it again. Then I read my audit notes on Austin FinTech Partners. The patterns were identical. Stock basis manipulation, fake contractor deductions, the same playbook. I Googled Nextech Solutions LLC. No results. Not yet. I closed the laptop. Didn't sleep that night. October 18th, 2023. Evening session with Dr. Patel. Emergency appointment. I think I did something, I said. What do you mean? I flagged a fraud case at work. Standard audit. But the IRS expanded the investigation. They found connections to other companies. A whole network using the same CPA firm, doing identical schemes. That's your job, Molly. You did nothing wrong. One of the companies is my mother's. Dr. Patel set down her pen. I handed her the case file cover page. Confidential, IRS criminal investigation. Subject number 7, Higginbotham, Vanessa L. D.O.B., August 14, 1969. Estimated tax liability, $615,000. I didn't know, I said. Not at first. But when I saw the pattern in the original audit, part of me recognized it. From her LinkedIn post. And I didn't look away. If it were a stranger, Dr. Patel asked, would you have reported it? I thought for 3 minutes. Yes. Then you did your job. But the question sat in my chest like a stone. What if part of me wanted this? What if I saw the pattern and didn't look away because I knew where it led? I recused myself from the case. Beth understood, but the damage was done. My mother was facing criminal charges for tax fraud, $615,000 in back taxes and penalties, possibly 5 years in prison. And I was the one who'd lit the match, not on purpose, but I'd lit it. I didn't light the fire, I told myself. They did. I just documented the smoke. If you've ever been blamed for something you didn't do, you'll understand what comes next. Hit subscribe. This gets worse before it gets better. December 11th, 2025, Wednesday evening, 6:58 p.m. I'm sitting in a Starbucks on Guadalupe Street. Table by the window. Grande oat milk latte in front of me, untouched. Ethan walks in. I recognize him immediately, but he looks different. Older. Gray at the temples. He's 34, but he looks 40. His hands shake as he approaches the table. Molly. I don't stand. Sit. He sits. We stare at each other for 18 seconds. Thank you for coming, he says. What do you want, Ethan? He exhales. I know I don't deserve to ask, but Mom and Dad are in trouble. The IRS tax fraud charges. They're facing prison, 5 years. The penalties are $615,000. Their lawyer says if someone from the family writes an impact statement, tells the judge we've reconciled, that they're good people who made mistakes, it could reduce the sentence, probation instead of prison. I take a sip of my latte. You want me to lie? It's not lying, it's mercy. You don't know the difference. His jaw tightens. Molly, I know you're angry. I know what we did was wrong, but they're still our parents. They're old. Dad's 68, Mom's 66. Prison would destroy them. And kicking me out at 16? What did that do? I'm not saying it was right. Good, because I have something to show you. I pull out my laptop. I open the file. Studio _ camera _ 2012-11-12 _1647.mp4. Turn the screen toward him. Press play. The video starts. Timestamp 4:47:18 p.m. Ethan at his laptop reading. His face crumbles. He stares at the screen. Where did you get this? Curtis Institute 2024. You really should have changed your passwords. On screen, his younger self stands, paces, screams. I can't do this anymore. I can't be perfect. He lifts the cello. Smash, smash, smash. The sound of wood splintering fills the coffee shop. A few customers glance over. I keep the volume low, just loud enough. Ethan's face goes white. On screen, he collapses, cries. Then I walk in. Ethan? Oh my God, what happened? And then the line. The one that destroyed everything. This is your fault now. The video stops at 4:57:53, frozen on his younger face, holding a piece of the cello, staring at 16-year-old me. I close the laptop. Ethan's hands are shaking harder now. You've had this the whole time? 13 years. Why didn't you? Because I wanted to survive first. I needed to build a life where the truth couldn't be taken from me, where I had standing, where people would listen. I reach into my bag, pull out 4 manila folders, set them on the table one by one. Owen's text messages from November 19th, 2012. You admitting to him that you lied, that you let me take the fall. Audio transcript of your call to me on March 14th, 2019. You confessing, saying you couldn't tell mom and dad because they'd never forgive you. Repair receipt from Giovanni String Instruments, October 23rd, 2012. 3 weeks before you broke the cello, you'd already damaged it. Giovanni warned you the structural integrity was compromised. And emails from Curtis Institute showing you lost your scholarship in February 2013. Not because of the cello, because you failed a drug test and missed deadlines. I slide the folders across the table. I have everything, Ethan. He opens the first folder, reads Owen's texts. His lips move silently. Where did you get these? Owen sent them to me in 2021. He felt guilty, kept them for 9 years. Ethan's voice drops. What do you want? I lean forward. I'll write the impact letter, but only if you do 3 things. He looks up. 1. Post a public confession on Facebook, the same group Mom used to destroy me in 2012. Admit you lied. Admit they threw me out for something you did. 230 people need to know the truth. His face pales. 2. Mom and Dad return my college fund. $43,000 plus 13 years of compound interest. $67,000 total. They don't have... Then they figure it out. Sell something. Take a loan. I don't care. They stole my future. They pay it back. And 3. Family therapy. 6 months minimum. Weekly sessions. Before I even consider letting you back into my life. Ethan stares at the table. What if they refuse? Then I send every receipt to the IRS prosecutor and suggest they add parental fraud and child abandonment to the case file. I work in forensic accounting, Ethan. I know exactly how to document abuse of a minor. Silence. Your choice. He starts crying, real tears this time, not the performance from 2012. I was 21, he says. I was so scared of failing, of being nothing. I let you take the fall because I thought I had more to lose. You did fail, Ethan. You failed at being human. But you can start being one now. Tell the truth. He wipes his face with a napkin, then another. 6 napkins total. The barista announces closing in 15 minutes. Ethan looks at me. I'll do it. I'll tell them. All of it. You'll tell them tomorrow, in person, at their house. I want you to watch their faces when they realize they destroyed the wrong child. Will you be there? No, this is your mess. You clean it up first. I pull out my phone, open the voice recorder app, show him the screen. I'm recording this conversation. For insurance. He nods. We shake hands. First physical contact in 13 years. His hand is cold. I stand up, walk out of the Starbucks. I don't look back. December 16th, 2025, 9:47 a.m. Ethan posts to the Facebook group. I'm not in the group anymore. But he screenshots it, sends it to me. The post. On November 12th, 2012, I lied. I broke my own cello during a breakdown and blamed my 16-year-old sister, Molly. My parents believed me without question. They kicked her out that night with $20 in a backpack. They posted publicly about her jealousy and destruction. They stole her college fund to buy me a new cello. None of it was true. Molly didn't break anything. I did. I've carried this lie for 13 years while she rebuilt her entire life from nothing. She became a CPA. She owns a home. She succeeded despite what we did to her, not because of us. To everyone who judged her in 2012, you were wrong. To Molly, I'm sorry. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I'm telling the truth now. Finally. Ethan Higginbotham. Within an hour, 67 shocked reactions. 23 angry, 12 sad. Top comment from Linda, the same Linda who'd supported Mom in 2012. Oh my God, I owe Molly an apology. 4 hours later, Mom changes the group privacy to hidden. Too late. Ethan screenshots everything first, sends it all to me. It's done, he texts. My phone rings that afternoon. Mom's number. I don't answer. She leaves a voicemail. Molly, it's Mom. Her voice is shaking, crying. I don't know what to say. Ethan told us everything. I'm so sorry. Please, call me back. Please. Second call. 2:17 p.m. Dad's number. Molly, your mother and we made errors in judgment. We'd like to discuss resolution. Call my office. I delete both voicemails, text them both from a new thread. Apologies are words. I need actions. $67,000 wire transfer by December 20th. Family therapy intake by January 3rd. Or no letter. Read receipts on. Both parents read it within 2 minutes. 3 days of silence. Then, December 19th, 4:38 p.m. Bank notification. Wire transfer received. $67,000. I sit on my condo floor and cry for 11 minutes. It's not the money, it's the admission. January 8th, 2026, 10 a.m. Family therapy. First session. Dr. Elaine Ming's office in Travis Heights. Neutral territory. I picked it specifically, not in Westlake Hills where they live, not near my condo. The seating arrangement. Me alone on a love seat. Mom, Dad, and Ethan on the couch opposite. 8 feet of physical distance. Dr. Ming is in her 50s, calm, no nonsense. This space is for truth, not performance, she says. Molly, you set the pace. Jonathan, Vanessa, Ethan, you're here to listen first. Understood? Dad shifts. I still don't think this is. Then you can leave, Dr. Ming says. Molly gets to decide if this continues. He stops talking. Mom cries 4 times in the first session. Dad apologizes once, uses the phrase, errors in judgment, not, I'm sorry. Ethan stays mostly silent. Dr. Ming asks me, what do you need from them? I think for 32 seconds. Proof that truth matters more than image. Session 1, 90 minutes. We schedule 6 more. January 15th, 2026. I write the impact letter. Dear Your Honor, my parents made catastrophic mistakes in 2012 when they expelled me from our home at age 16 based on a lie. They made mistakes again in their tax filings. I don't condone either. But I believe in second chances, the kind I never received at 16. I'm willing to extend what they denied me, the opportunity to rebuild. Not because they've earned it, but because I've earned peace. I support probation with full restitution and mandatory compliance monitoring. Accountability must precede mercy. Sincerely, Molly Higginbotham, CPA, 847 words, notarized, submitted to the Western District of Texas Court, case number 5:25-CR-00381. I mail it. I don't tell them what I wrote. They'll find out in court. March 12th, 2026. Federal Courthouse, downtown Austin. Sentencing hearing. I sit in the back row. Don't approach my parents when they walk in. They glance back once. I don't wave. The judge reads the case summary. Tax fraud. Unreported income. False deductions. $615,000. Then he references my letter. The court notes the extraordinary letter from Ms. Molly Higginbotham. Her willingness to extend mercy, despite profound harm, demonstrates a moral clarity this court respects. He sentences them to 5 years probation, $615,000 in restitution on a payment plan, 200 hours of community service each, no prison. Their lawyer thanks me in the hallway afterward. I nod, leave. Mom tries to hug me at the elevator. I step back. We're not there yet. We establish boundaries over the next 3 months. Monthly coffee meetings, first Saturday of each month. Mozart's Coffee on Lake Austin Boulevard, 10 a.m. Neutral location. Topics allowed: surface level, current events, therapy progress. How's work? Topics forbidden: relitigating 2012, financial requests, guilt trips. I keep a journal. Month 3, I write. Dad said, "I'm proud of you." I said, "Thank you." It felt strange, not bad, just strange. Ethan asks if I'll come to his recital. He's teaching again, performing small local gigs. Maybe, I say. Ask me in 6 months. I'm in my condo now. April 2026. Evening. I stand at the window. The Austin skyline glows in the sunset. I can see downtown from here. The buildings I used to think I'd never reach. My CPA license hangs on the wall behind me, framed. In my desk drawer, there's a USB drive labeled November 12th, 2012. I don't need it anymore, but I haven't deleted it. Maybe I never will. Evidence of survival. Proof I existed when they tried to erase me. I used to think I survived in spite of what they did to me. Now I know. I survived because of what I built after. The GED, the degree, the license, the condo, the receipts. Every piece of evidence I gathered wasn't just proof of their lie, it was proof of my existence. They tried to erase me. I made myself undeniable. 13 years ago, I walked into a storm with $20 and a backpack. Today, I have a career that pays $96,300 a year. I own 680 square feet of Austin real estate. I have $78,000 in retirement savings, $38,000 in emergency funds, 0 debt. And I have a family that's learning, slowly, painfully, what truth costs. I don't know if we'll ever be whole, but I know this. I'm not waiting for them to fix what they broke. I already did that. I built a new structure, one that stands on facts, not feelings, on boundaries, not blind loyalty, on receipts, not faith. Forgiveness isn't a switch you flip. It's architecture. You lay the foundation, accountability, then the frame, consistency, then maybe walls, maybe a roof. But you don't move in until you're sure it won't collapse. I'm not there yet, but I'm building, one boundary at a time. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever had to rebuild after betrayal or set boundaries with people who hurt you, you're not alone. There are more stories like this. Stories of people who survived what should have broken them. Stories of receipts and truth and hard-won peace. Check the playlist and remember, the truth doesn't always set you free, but it shows you who deserves a key. My name is Molly Higginbotham. I'm 29 years old, and I'm not my family's victim anymore. I'm the architect of my own life.